I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-ma-gob, it's time for the only news that matters. And Wolfgang Van Halen said Van Halen's final album, A Different Kind of Truth, was absent from streaming sites because David Lee Roth wouldn't allow its return. According to Eddie Van Halen's son, the singer has a problem with the 2012 release, which features Wolfgang's replacing founding bassist Michael Anthony. And so when the most recent deals expired, he wouldn't give permission to renew them. He said the contract ran out on putting it out on streaming services. And so we've been working on getting it back. But there are some people included who do not like the record and are not making it easy to get it back up. At first he seemed reluctant to provide more details, but Trunk received confirmation when asked if the issue arose with somebody involved in the record and somebody who was commonly known by three initials, seeming to suggest David Lee Roth. And Wolfgang said, probably. I mean, yeah, you can put it together. I hate to say it because people who think I'm making stuff up, but it's like, man, I'd love to have the record back up there. But he doesn't seem to like it, and he's not working with us to get it back up. So I hope people who like it have a physical version of it. He went on to say he didn't understand why things are so difficult when it comes to negotiating with Roth over Van Halen projects. But that he added to his appreciation of working with his own band, Mammoth, WVH. I think throughout my time in Van Halen, you learn things that you want to do and you want to apply. And then you also learn things that you don't want to apply, he reflects. So, yeah, it's a drag. I absolutely love Different Kind of Truth. I think it's the heaviest Van Halen album. I even like Tattoo, even though it's my least favorite song on the album and a horrible decision to put it out as the first single. I think it was a great album, man. I thought it was heavier than all the other Van Halen albums, and I just loved it, man. I love the fact that we got one more album with Roth, even though Michael Anthony's not there, which is a bummer, but to me it didn't hurt the album. You know, a lot of people accused Wolfgang of singing along to tapes of Michael Anthony on stage, and he denies it, and I believe him. Because the backing vocals on A Different Kind of Truth are on Michael Anthony, and they sound great. And, you know, personally, I think Wolfgang Van Halen as a singer is better than Michael Anthony. Michael Anthony was part of the greatest backing vocals, but have you heard Michael Anthony sing Somebody Get Me a Doctor Alone? Woo! Well, I think it's rough. Some of you may not think it's rough. But get Wolfgang to sing that song. I bet you anything it'd be so much better. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Mammoth WVH, there's 2 or 3 songs I like off each album that he sings amazing on. Hey, he sings amazing on the songs I don't like. He's got an awesome voice. But yeah, alright, going back to this Different Kind of Truth thing. It is weird how Roth is so difficult. You know, I know, you know, the whole thing with the Eddie Van Halen tribute, it really didn't happen because of Roth. Because, you know, there's no way in hell Alex Van Halen would do the tribute to his brother with Hagar and not Roth. Just impossible. Roth has to be there. You know, but, you know, they weren't going to even have Michael part of it. They were going to get Jason Newsted. Yeah, it was just it was going to be a weird, strange tribute. And I guess when Alex was trying to get that band together and they were going to get Joe Satriani, I guess Dave was kind of on board then, or maybe not on board yet, but didn't decide yet. And then in the end, you know it was Roth. You just know it was Roth that just put a kibosh to the whole thing. And it's a drag. But not for me. for the masses, for the people that stream. I never go on Spotify. I never go on none of these. The only place I'll go check out new music, a new album, and decide if I want to buy it or not would be YouTube. I go on YouTube and listen to an album from a new artist, or hey, an album from an old artist to see how, if I like it, I'll buy that as well, which has happened as well. But, I understand how the masses are. You don't want to own physical media because it takes up space in your place, and, with your whole wide, variety of butt plugs and, bestiality magazines and anal beads. I mean, that takes up a lot of space, and that's cool. I'm not looking down on none of you. But, I don't get it, but cool, more power to you. But yeah, the bestiality thing's raw, and I'm not into that. Or your water sports or scats. Ugh, I'm more into physical media, man. That's what I want to buy. And I own Different Kind of Truth on red vinyl because I went out and bought this on vinyl when it was first released. And now that vinyl goes for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I think I paid $25 or $30 for it when it first came out. And it's awesome. What a heavy, awesome album. Just can't get enough of it. To me, it's also the return of Eddie. The real grit, pissed off. That I haven't heard Eddie play since the David Lee Roth years of the 80s. So it's kind of like, to me, man, Van Halen... follow-up to 1984 to me is a different kind of truth, because everything in between those two albums don't sound like early VH, where Different Kind of Truth sounds like early VH, where just about half of it, or a little more than half of it, are old demos from before the first album that they redid. And a lot of people complained about that, which I don't understand, because actually every Van Halen album with David Lee Roth in the 80s had demos before the first album. You had Somebody Get Me a Doctor and Bottoms Up, Bring on the Girls, which became Beautiful Girls. All of those songs were demoed, and that's the second album. In a Simple Rhyme was a song they played in clubs. They played Fools back then, off Women and Children First, and I Know There's More, and Mean Street used to be called Voodoo Queen, and then you have the Hang 'em High, which was one of the earlier demos with a different title, and House of Pain on 1984. Every single David Lee Roth album had demos before the first album, but for some reason, people love to bitch. And it's like, how about the song? Okay, this is old demos from old songs, so therefore it can't be good. I don't know. I don't get that mentality, especially when I hear these songs like Bullet Head, which was another one from the early days. That song smokes, man. But then there's quite a few originals on there, like As Is a badass song. Honey Baby Sweetie Doll. Chinatown. Damn, that album smokes, man. I absolutely love A Different Kind of Truth. It's awesome that we got the final real Van Halen album. And to me, just erase everything from the 5150 to Van Halen 3. All that to me is not Van Halen. I know it is to some of you out there, because a lot of you out there have this mentality like, well, if Eddie's there, then it's Van Halen. No, it's not. It's just, I refuse to believe that. I don't hear Van Halen without David Lee Roth. I don't hear it. I don't hear the piss and vinegar in the playing. It became more, even when it was trying to be heavy, it didn't sound so authentic. It just, God, Vangina sucks. But anyway, that's it for the news. What do y'all think? Leave it in the comments below. If you're one of these people, with the butt plugs and you stream and you're, depressed about it, hey, I'm sorry. Excuse me while I go play my record. Because the only thing I listen to are my records, my CDs, and my iPod Shuffle. I do not listen to Spotify and none of that crap. But hey, more power to you guys that listen to it. more room in your place for your demented jollies. And thank you all for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And also, leave a comment below. What do you think of all this? And also like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath and A Different Kind of Truth, and smack 'em a gaba.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.